Well, first of all, Anand, I think it's important to make a distinction between those who are refugees and other migrants, because governments have obligations toward refugees, whereas admitting migrants is a matter of national discretion, national sovereignty. And the $100 million figure that the United Nations is using refers to those who are forcibly displaced by war, by persecution, and so on. There are many, many more who are displaced by the factors your previous guest mentioned: poverty, political turmoil, criminal violence, and political disruption. So those two groups of people tend to meet very different receptions, particularly depending on where they're going. The great majority of them, of refugees, are hosted in developing countries, 85% of them, and 73% of them, three-quarters, are hosted in neighboring countries. So people who are fleeing for their lives tend to go to the closest country, and very often a country where they have connections, or where they at least speak the language or have some cultural commonality. I think some of the difference of the reception that different groups meet in a country like Poland has to do with there are a number of factors. I can think of at least three. One is a sense of solidarity with people who are sort of their cousins in cultural terms. And yes, there is an element of racism in that. There's also a sense of common threat. The Eastern European countries also feel threatened by Russia after the Ukrainian invasion. And I think there's also a question of the status of people who are coming from refugee. No one has any doubt at all that they are refugees, whereas many of those trying to cross into Belarus, trying to cross the Mediterranean, certainly many of them would qualify as refugees, but not all of them. And there is a determination on the part of European countries and countries everywhere to maintain sovereign control over who can come and stay in their countries.